Hey, what's up? My name is Galactor, and in this video I quickly want to show you what you can do with focals in a build-up using a plugin called Stretch. So the goal of this is to show you a way to create more interesting build-ups with focals rather than just grabbing sample, looping it, and putting an automation clip on the pitch on there, for example. So let's have a listen what I did to it to showcase this effect.
Big drops, everyone loves it. Scraping at the...
So yeah, very short, very easy. So let's have a listen to the effect only on this focal.
Everyone loves it.
Now all I did was loading up this plugin called the Stretch. Like I said, it's a free plugin. I will leave a link to this down below in the description so you can download it as well. And all you have to do is basically grab a sample from your focal and place it at the beginning of the build-up. Now sometimes you have a focal that, like a pre-drop focal, that is a little bit longer than the pre-drop itself and it moves into the drop. What you could then do is just cut off one beat and use that as a trigger. You just have to play around with which part of the sample you take as a trigger for the plugin to start. In this case, I just decided to grab the last little part of the focal here and place it right at the beginning of the trigger. This is where the build-up starts, and that's also where you want the trigger to be automated to on with the automation clip. And you also want to make sure that you turn it off again with the automation clip at the end of the build-up, otherwise the effect keeps going. Because what I like to do is set the hold to on. If you set the hold off, then you don't have so much control over it. Let's have a listen to what that sounds like.
Everyone loves it.
As you can see, the effect is only applied once and then faded out. And if you set it to the hold to on, then you have infinite control basically as long as the trigger is on with the automation clip. And if you then create an automation clip on the grain size or on the ratio here, then you can control the speed of which a sample is repeating. So in this case, I started fast and I ended slow. Sorry, the other way around. I started slow and ended fast, but you could also do it the other way around, like this, for example.
Everyone loves it.
Yeah, you could do that with the grain size. You could do that with the ratio as well, because this is also in certain way affecting the speed of repetitiveness. The crossfade is basically setting the smoothness of how the sample is repeating. If you set it too low, it's going to be very sharp, very clicky.
Everyone loves it. Everyone loves it.
So I always like to use a value that's at least 50% or above, because that gives a little bit more of a smoother result, but you just have to play around what works for your sample. And then the other two controls, the buffer size and the multiplier, actually don't even touch because they don't have any influence on the final result of this effect. So I just leave them as they are. And what you could do additionally, like I did here, is create an automation clip on a filter to have like a nice fade out. You can even do that on the pitch from the sample. Just have to make sure that you set the mode to stretch then, and then you could use some pitch shifting during the build-up as well. And like, yeah, this you can use on focals like this, but you could also use it on rendered versions of your synths, for example, to create like a nice fade out of a drop. You could use this effect in a build-up or even in a drop or right after a drop to get like a nice fade out. There's a lot of ways to implement this trick in your productions, I think. So just play around with it and see what you can come up with, because that was actually already it for this tutorial as well. I know it was a very small one, but I just wanted to give you guys this little trick. I will leave the FLP for this down below in the description as well, so you can download it and check it out for yourself, play around with it. And then I want to say thank you for watching and see you in the next video.
Scraping at the...